Will Zach Lavine stay or leave the Chicago Bulls this summer? That is the question on everyone's mind, and I'm going to go ahead and answer that for you guys. So let's get into it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking some NBA here to talk about the Chicago Bulls. So if you are a Bulls fan, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below because I do talk a lot of Bulls on this channel. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, guys. As always, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, people, let's get into it. So all of the buzz, all of the chatter, all of the rumors, all of the talk, because there's been a lot of talk about free agency has centered around Bulls shooting guard Zach Lavine, and for good reason. He is, by all accounts, the top free agent on the market. He is set to be an unrestricted free agent. So obviously that means he can sign with any team and any team can sign him. He is not going to be restricted. And when you compare him with all the other free agents out there, we're talking about a guy who's still got years left in his prime, relatively young, productive, and he wasn't healthy at the end of the season, but hopefully he's going to be healthy moving forward. By all those accounts, Zach Lavine's a top free agent on the market. So, question, will he stay or will he leave the Chicago Bulls? Well, this all starts with if the Bulls offer Zach Lavine the max. And I believe they will. Okay, the max contract that Zach Lavine is able to get contractually from the NBA terms, if you will, for a player with his years of experience and taking all of those things into account, it is going to be a 5-year, get ready for the number, $212 million contract. That's right, $200 million plus, 212 to be exact. That is going to be the max the Chicago Bulls can offer Zach Lavine. Okay, now let's talk about what other teams, the non-Bulls teams, can offer Zach Lavine. And that is 4 years, so 1 year less, and approximately $160 million. So we're talking about a difference of about $50 million here, people. Right? $50 million. That is the difference. And this is because when the NBA, wrote down these terms, they wanted to give an incentive to the teams that had those players for those players to be able to stay on those teams by giving the teams a little bit of a kicker incentive, if you will. So that's to help these teams keep their own players. That's why the Bulls can offer more than any other team. So that's going to be the first thing that needs to fall in terms of a domino, right? Is the Bulls have to offer Zach Lavine the max contract, because if they don't, he's out of here. And if the question is, will they? I believe they will, because Zach Lavine is a guy who is still relatively young, 27 years old. He's still got years left in his prime. And we saw him obviously play on a bum knee to end the season, and he still put up, 24, 5-5 or 4-4 around that. Imagine what he could do if he was healthy. So, yeah, it wasn't a great end to the season, but he was still able to put up all-star numbers around DeMar DeRozan by having him on the team. He's an all-star, period. So, Zach Lavine, by all accounts, yes, he was hurt, but he still produced. This is a guy you definitely do want to invest in. I know there's the talk about Zach doesn't play defense. Is he a championship player? I love when people always bring this up and then they never give you the replacement for what Zach Lavine is, for who you're going to replace Zach Lavine with, right? If you let him go, right, if you're the Bulls and let him walk in free agency, who are you going to replace him with, right? Talent like that doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. All right, so to me, it's just funny when people say, oh, let Zach walk, because it's like, oh, we definitely have, a bunch of players to replace him with. I'm sorry. Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams, these guys aren't ready yet, okay? And they can still be productive with Zach on the team. So the Bulls need Zach Lavine. I believe they will offer him the max contract. Now, will he decide to take that or leave for another team? Well, you've heard all the talk about these rumors where he's been linked to the Blazers with Damian Lillard. Let's address that situation. So the Portland Trail Blazers have what? Damian Lillard and nothing, right? They traded for Joe Ingles last season, people. Joe Ingles of all people, okay? That's a barren roster. They basically strapped it up. Now, they could sign people in free agency, but are you really expecting the Blazers with their, newly made up roster in the summertime to be better than what the Bulls are going to be during the year two of DeMar, Zach, and Vooch and the new regime, if you will? I don't think so. So he's not closer to a championship, and he would have to take less money. Can't really see that happening. Then we hear LeVar Ball talking about, oh, he's done with the Bulls, and he's going to go ahead and go to the Lakers because he's tired of playing second fiddle to DeMar DeRozan. That's what LeVar Ball said. Now, everything LeVar Ball says is exaggerated. I know not to take him too seriously. But even if we did, let's address that situation. So he doesn't want to play second fiddle with DeMar DeRozan, but he wants to play third fiddle with LeBron and AD, because last time I checked, they're not going anywhere. And even if AD was going somewhere, LeBron's still there, then your second fiddle back to that for Zach. Doesn't really make too much sense to me. Oh, and also $50 million less. So that takes care of that situation. Now, I don't see that happening. So, yeah, look, in a perfect world, I believe if Zach Lavine was able to get the same amount of money, and I'm going to tell you guys the truth because this is how I am. I'm objective with you guys. If Zach Lavine was able to get the same amount of money from another team, let's just say the Lakers, for instance, okay? We'll pretend we're not even talking about the roster with LeBron or AD. Let's just say the Lakers are able to give him the same amount of money, and he's the number one option on the team, and it's a 5-year, $212 million contract. I believe he leaves for the Lakers. I believe he does, because it's LA. Who wouldn't want to leave for LA, right? Well, maybe not everyone. Giannis didn't. We'll see. But point being is, I believe he would have. But that's ifs. We have to take the circumstances that we have today, which is $50 million more with the Bulls, an extra year, and a team that made the playoffs this year, certainly on the uprise, has the potential, if they make a few moves, to become a championship contender, and Zach Lavine gets all of that. Ultimately, folks, I believe my answer is Zach Lavine stays in Chicago, and he's got 50 million reasons to do so. That's a large amount of money he's turning down, and I know Zach's made money in his career, but this might be his last big payday. He'll be 32 by the time this deal ends, and for all intents and purposes, I believe Zach Lavine won't be in his prime at that age because of the play style that he has where he plays above the ground, right? He's a high flyer, he's a dunker, he's a scorer, and a lot of his athleticism is used in his scoring ability. So once Zach goes down, and he usually does once you're past 30, Zach's not going to be the same guy. So the Bulls will be getting the best years out of Zach in the next 5, but then after that, you're really not going to see Zach Lavine in his prime. I could be wrong about that, but I'm going to take my chances there. So ultimately, folks, I believe Zach's got 50 million reasons to re-sign with the Bulls, and I think he will. I don't think he turns down that money. And I think the Bulls get Zach back here for the next 5 years at 5 years, $212 million. And yes, I would give him the max. And yes, I believe the Bulls will give him the max once they can. So let me know what you guys think about Zach. Do you think he stays? Do you think he leaves? Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.